Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Boku no Hero Academia Season 2, Episode 21. So yeah, getting close to the end of the season. Sadly, I always say it's going to be a hell of a wait till Season 3. But yeah, this is probably more notes than I've taken for most episodes so far. We got a lot of content, and it was really good because I felt like we developed all the characters a lot, and in addition to that, we still got a little bit of world building in there too, I guess. With certain things, and we're headed into the next arc. We even got a start on what's going on next. But either way, I'll go through it part by part and discuss it. So first up, we have this segment on a TV show with Mount Lady and Midnight, and it was really funny and a good comedy gag, but it also kind of gave us a look into a bit of world building as well. And this is what I'm counting as world building, because we find out that Midnight in her younger days had an even more revealing costume, and because of that, she sort of was the cause for the government putting a sort of clause out there, or rule out there, for a certain amount of skin being allowed to be shown. And I like as well Midnight saying, it's not really about looking sexy, it's because certain people need to show a certain amount of skin to help with their quirk, or a certain amount of clothing kind of impedes them from using their quirk, so it's more efficient or effective for a hero to show some skin. Kind of like Momo. Her costume does show a lot of skin. I wonder how that's allowed. But kind of like Momo, she needs to show her skin and able to use her quirk, because she can only use it from exposed skin. So it sort of makes sense, and I like the way that we learned that law was put into place for Midnight. Talk about how Midnight's a veteran and all that, and of course Mount Lady saying, all the older generation trying to be hard to be sexy makes it harder for the younger generation to get over with fans and all that. So I like that. I thought that it was kind of a really good segment in something that I didn't really think much about at first. But then, going past that, we start getting them talking about their final exams, and there's going to be a written and a practical part of the end-of-term exam. Izuku got 4th on the midterms. I'm not going to go through what everybody got, because it's not important, because it's not that important to list, and you guys watch the episode and all. But the point being that it was really good getting to see that and having it affect how they interact and talk and stuff, and they got a lot of good comedy gags out of it. And it just helps you know more about the character and all. And it's always good to give that bit of development anywhere you can. Momo was so happy to study with everybody. I thought that was adorable. Kirishima and Bakugo, I always love their interactions as well. I really like them. They're the best bromance. Then we see at lunchtime Monoma is back again, causing some trouble, and Kendo was funny there as well, especially when she sent Izuku into mutter mode and then was confused at him going into mutter mode. Bakugo's outburst back in the classroom was handled well. My favorite part though was when he was like, "I'm gonna beat you, Deku," and then as he's walking out, "And you too, Bakugo," and "You too, Todoroki," and Todoroki's just there like, What did I do? Why am I in this? So I thought that was funny as well. And then we get to see the Momo group at her house, finding out how rich she actually is. That was funny, and I liked all that with all those characters. I love all the Class A characters. And we see there's then a studying and training and even written test taking montage. Then it's time for the practical exam. The way that the exam's going to work is that it's going to be teams of 2 have to fight one pro hero, one of the teachers. So the first one they mention is Todoroki and Momo versus Aizawa, and the second they mention is going to be Midoriya and Bakugo versus All Might. Now we see after the commercial break they had a conference a few days earlier where they discussed all that, saying, it kind of builds the world a little bit more here, where they're talking about how villains are going to be more active now, and the students need to be stronger and to know how to handle actual combat against villains. And then we see Aizawa's teams and some of the reasoning behind at least the 2 we knew about at that point, how he put Bakugo and Midoriya together because they can't really because they don't really work that well as a team. They don't really like each other that much. So their challenge is to be able to work together to be able to pass against All Might. And then he discusses why he himself is going to be going up against Momo and Todoroki. It's because they both rely a lot on their quirks, but Momo's not good at quick decision making, and Todoroki, being the opposite, kind of rushes in he makes decisions too quickly, and sometimes it's rash and not well thought out. So that is his plan, being to then erase both of their quirks and to see how they can handle it having to make decisions in close combat, which isn't their specialty because of their long range quirks. Well, I mean, they're best used at long range. So he's going to take advantage of that and see what kind of decisions they make. And this entire thing is kind of a decision-making test. So then after that, we get to find out what the other sort of setups are going to be. There's Kirishima and Rikido versus Cementoss, Suyu and Tokiyami versus Ectoplasm, Ida and Masharao versus Power Loader, Uraraka and Aoyama versus 13, Kirishima and Kirishima, not Kirishima. Kirishima's not with Ashido, it's Kaminari. I wrote that wrong in my notes. Kaminari and Ashido versus Nedzu, Koda and Kyoka versus Present Mai, Kagakure and Mezzo versus Snipe, and Mineta and Sero versus Midnight. So pretty much the two options here are to either capture the teacher or escape from the arena that they're in, and they're each going to have different arenas suited to whatever their teacher is and all that. But it's like I said, it's a decision-making test to see whether they should try to stay and fight or whether they should run. And to make it so that fighting is actually a viable option, each of the teachers are going to put on these ankle and wrist weights that are half their body weight. So each teacher is going to be carrying around an extra half their body weight to make fighting more viable. Then one thing that... Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong. It's been a long time since I read this part in the manga. But I thought in the manga, and this isn't spoiling anything, I'm not doing spoilers, but I thought in the manga that all of the tests happened at the same time, all in their different arenas, and then if you finished your test before the others, you got to watch the end of their test. I thought they all happened at the same time in the manga. I'm really, really convinced. Like, that is exactly how I remember it, but... I guess I could be wrong. I don't remember them happening one at a time like they are here. So maybe they changed it for the anime so that they could focus on one at a time in the anime and not jump around between them. But yeah, it just seems different to me. Then at the end, we do get to see Sato and Kirishima's test, and they go up against Cementoss. We find out more about Sato Urikido's quirk, which is Sugar Rush, and that's that he gets 5 times stronger for every 10 grams of sugar he consumes, and the effect lasts for 3 minutes. And then, of course, since he had so much sugar, he goes into a sort of crash state. So they have theirs, and we learn from Izuku and Recovery Girl that they're paired with teachers that are going to be difficult for them. They're purposefully against people that are going to have quirks that are difficult for the students to handle. Cementoss is completely OP. I love Cementoss. His quirk is so cool, and he just kind of completely surrounds and wrecks them with walls because they can't destroy all of it while he's easily making more. Then, after all that is over, and we see a group lose a test already, which I think was actually good to do that first, to show, like, this is serious, there are going to be people that aren't going to pass this. Then we get to see, right at the end, that next up's going to be Asui and Tokiyami going up against Ectoplasm, who, now for those of you that are anime only, we know that he can make clones now. The explanation's not there yet, but we know he can make clones. So yeah. And that was it. But there are 9 tests left and 4 episodes left, which I'm pretty happy about because I feel like that means they're going to all get plenty of time. Like, that means that each episode's going to only be 2 or 3 tests, and I think that's good. It'll maybe be 2 tests and then one of them will have 3 tests, unless what I'm thinking is it'll be 2 or 3 tests throughout 22, 23, and 24, and then I think 25, the finale, might just be Izuku's test since of course he's the main character. Or a lot of people have said that they think that 22, 23, and 24 will be all 9 of the rest of these tests, maybe 3 tests an episode, or maybe a little bit off from that since Izuku's will probably be longer. Again, main character privilege. Then after that, maybe the final episode will be not really an epilogue, but a little bit of what comes next to tie us into going into season 3. All of that I think is possible, but it kind of makes me glad that it looks like each test is going to have plenty of time, so that we're going to see some of those characters that maybe haven't been as important yet in the anime, and we're going to see them get some more time. That's what I would like. So, yeah, pretty much for the episode, some thoughts on it. I thought the development for the class was great. I love the character interactions. I really think that helps out a lot, because the more characters you develop and you get fans caring about in a series like this, it's better off. And even, like I said, a little bit of world building in there with some of the stuff. And at the end, I'm excited for the rest of this season, because I didn't know at first how cramped or rushed any certain part would be, but now it looks like there's plenty of time to handle everything that they need to and give it all plenty of time. So as a score, I actually really liked this one a lot. It didn't have the emotional impact or the really awesome fights that some of the earlier episodes had, but it gave a lot of content. It gave a lot of development. So because of that, I want to give it a 9. A 9 literal study halls that Yayorozu has. 9 out of 10. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like the video. Comment down there to tell me what you thought of this week's episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Boku no Hero Academia, both anime and manga. I think I might start posting the manga before One Piece on Thursdays, because it seems like more people are interested in my Boku no Hero Academia videos than my One Piece ones. So I might move up and start doing Boku no Hero Academia first and then One Piece afterward. But yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. If you want a link to our Discord server, we also have one of those. Just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.